I was about to do that song again.
You always do that.
We're live?
We're live.
We're live.
Oh my
We're
good
live.
night.
Goodness gracious. Great balls of
Fire, the pay-per-view, the WWE pay-per-view from 2016.
honestly loved
17.
it. Great balls
You
of
loved
fire.
that pay-per-view?
I just thought it was fun. I just thought it was so fun.
Wasn't it originally called like Great Balls or something, and they changed it to Great Balls of Fire or something like that?
I don't know. But
Something like that.
I think it was two giant balls.
Yes, it
Like,
was. It was
definitely-
two fiery balls was the logo.
Welcome everyone to Loser Leaves Wrestling.
Oh,
This is the weekly Wrestle 42.
42, baby.
42.
42 episodes.
Welcome everyone. Welcome. We're having a lot of fun already. We already started having fun.
But-
And I know what you're thinking. I'm so sorry. Hasn't been like, we put it on the calendars.
Yeah.
So like you should have checked. It's now sweatshirt Saturday.
Yeah.
Winter is coming. Winter is here.
Yeah, winter's here. Winter is coming in AEW, but winter has already arrived in LLW land.
Yeah. LLW. It's a frigid Greenlandian landscape. Sorry to all you Greenlanders out there. We don't want to make fun of you too much.
Yeah. So think of it. You went from a wrestler who's going for a workout in your tank top to you're now a wrestler who's coming to the ring before a match, and you're like an AJ Styles, you're a Kurt Angle, who you wear the hood to the ring to get yourself hyped up.
Yeah, you're right.
There you go.
But we also have to keep in mind that these are temporary sweatshirts because we will have sleeveless ones soon.
Then we'll truly be Kurt Angle.
There will truly be Kurt Angle and AJ Styles coming.
Yeah. What kind of sweatshirt is that? What do you got there? What's that logo there?
Service Titan.
Nice. Is that comfortable?
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
It's
that's
that's
great.
really nice.
I have a Maplewood bike shed.
Oh,
which is
wow.
a local bike shop in my hometown of Maplewood, New Jersey.
Welcome Maplewood. Everyone from Maplewood, sound off in the comments. Hey, I think everyone sound off in the comments as you get in here. Wipe your feet off before you take your shoes.
Yeah, tell that to Goose. I'm trying to tell that to Goose over here, and she's just tracking mud through the house. She's just tracking mud everywhere. It's driving me nuts. I want to take a second before we start the show, Red, and give you and pay you a compliment on a public forum. I saw a sneak peek of your Halloween costume. Your wrestling-themed Halloween costume, excellent.
It's a wrestler goes to the airport.
Yeah.
You saw it, huh?
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it on your Instagram. That's what I'm calling Instagram now. Instagram.
I wish I had face paint.
Yeah, but I don't. Again, I just think of you as in my head. You're not a wrestler who goes to the airport. You are Road Warrior Hawk who goes to the airport.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to do.
You are Road Warrior Hawk. And you looked a lot like Road Warrior Hawk.
I'll get there one day. Hassan, Woodsy the Beast and Hassan and Chica Marks all just jumped into the chat.
Love it.
Woodsy the Beast just says, I'm done with Rampage. I'd rather watch 205 Live.
Wow.
Harsh.
Whoa.
And
I have
honestly,
some positive thoughts about Rampage. I was going into, hold on a second. Goose. Sorry. I was going into...
totally soundless whistle.
Yeah, I know. It didn't work. My lips aren't wet. I was going into watching Rampage and saying this is the last time we're ever going to talk about Rampage on this show. But I thought they did some interesting things tonight. They changed some things up. They're trying a little bit. And we can talk about it. We'll get into it.
Yeah, we will, I guess. Hassan's in the chat.
Hassan's
Hi, Hassan.
here.
Hassan writes, I saw SmackDown AEW Rampage yesterday. It was awesome. Hey, I'm so glad. I heard SmackDown was pretty cool.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah, they're with the bloodline, Sami Zayn, and the bloodline's breaking up. Starting to. Jay Uso said, oh my God. Actually, it sounded really cool.
Should we start reviewing SmackDown on here rather than Rampage?
Yes.
Okay, then let's just do that.
I'd rather review SmackDown than Raw.
Yeah. I would rather review SmackDown than Raw because SmackDown's 2 hours.
2 hours, easy.
And well, we'll have to do an abbreviated because we have a bunch of other things to talk about.
Yeah. We'll skim through. We'll skim through.
Yeah, but we should start talking about SmackDown instead.
Yeah. Then Chica Marks writes, Red wouldn't let me take a pic of his costume. Okay, I did not let you take a pic. It's just that they wanted me to take a pic with someone did a great Randy Savage.
Oh,
they did a sexy Randy Savage.
Ooh, sexy Randy Savage.
Sexy Randy Savage. And I was just like, I can't.
Was it sexy?
What?
Was it sexy?
What was sexy?
Like, was the costume
sexy?
Yeah,
it was a very sexy Randy Savage.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I could not, because I'm a composite character. Mm-hmm. I'm not a real, like, if you have me next to that, everyone's just be like, oh, Randy Savage, and who's that Mark?
Nikita
and I
Koloff.
don't want people Nikita Koloff at the gym, and I do look like Nikita Koloff.
You
at
do.
The gym. Okay, very interesting. Hassan writes, they got Fox Sports 1. Hell yeah. Who's got
Hell yeah.
Let us know more about that. Woodsy the Beast says next year you should go as Piper at the airport. No.
Brutal. I knew where Woodsy was going with that.
I stopped myself.
Yeah.
No, Woodsy.
No.
No. But we have to start talking about some Rampage.
We got to get into Rampage.
And
I didn't
also,
think the show was so bad.
Woodsy says Jay isn't acting very oozy lately, and that's something that Sammy said. He's just like, haven't been acting. You've been acting a little not so oozy recently, and it's really good, very fun. Jay isn't acting very oozy. Like you wrote that twice, Woodsy. But what are you saying? I'm sorry, I interrupted. You liked Rampage.
I liked some of it. I liked some of the things that they're trying. I appreciate them thinking outside of the box a little bit. I liked that they originally advertised Yuta and Claudio versus a 2.0, and I don't know what happened, but then it ended up being Moxley versus Daddy Magic,
which I'm happy about.
I was happy about, and you get Moxley, you get your heavyweight champion on the show.
Finally.
Yeah, and then I liked the I was gonna say what. Wow, I didn't sleep last night.
Jingle Bell Rock.
No, what's homeboy's name?
Daddy Magic.
No. After the match, Stokely comes out.
Stokely with Lee Moriarty. Okay, tell me about this. So after the match, Lee Moriarty and Stokely come out, and they show a video, and. Could you tell me what you liked about it? I didn't
like the video package because I was like, they're like, we made something nice for you, Moxley, and it's just like a standard AEW video package, which is like, I thought it would be something silly, at least something different.
Yeah.
But I just like that it was someone different, and now Lee's gonna fight Mox, which is good. That should be a good match. Like.
It's just like this is a terrible way to introduce Lee Moriarty.
He's been around. Everybody knows who he is.
Reintroduce. Like this is a reintroduction.
This is
because we haven't seen or talked to him in years.
Well, it's also that's not true. He's been around.
A year is the last time we actually heard him. He didn't even say anything. Still, it's just the fact that they, like you said, they showed an AEW package for Moxley, and then they had him because they didn't just stick to the video. They also showed. Lee Moriarty and Moxley kind of reacted to the video, and Lee Moriarty doesn't know what to do because he's just like, yeah, this is just talking about Tiger style, and then Moxley, it's like tying his shoes, like he doesn't know he's on camera.
He knows he's on camera.
I don't think he did.
Maybe I don't know.
But you were.
I like that they were doing something different. Like I'm sick of like fucking Jabroni 1 and Jabroni 2 as the opening match, and it's just boring and it doesn't matter. This like at least had some build to it, and now you've got another match for like it made me feel as though if I was an unknowing fan who was just watching Rampage, it actually made me feel like, oh, you just set something up for next week's show on this show. So okay, everything ties together. Okay,
I'm cool with that. I guess I wish this was the main event, because the main event was just
I didn't like the main event. Although I like the last 5 seconds because I want Powerhouse Hobbs to beat Wardlow for that title.
Yes, I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. And thank God they're finally doing something with Powerhouse Hobbs.
Right, which is, again, terrible booking on AEW's part, but we don't need to talk about it. He loses an unsanctioned match to Ricky Starks, then Ricky Starks disappears, Powerhouse disappears, and now Powerhouse just shows back up and he wants to challenge for the TNT title. Okay.
But I would like to talk about the most divisive part of Rampage real quick.
My favorite part of Rampage? Go ahead.
Oh, was it your favorite part of Rampage?
It might have been. It might have been. For all the wrong reasons.
Yes. Swerve. Okay, so the match is Keith Lee versus a jobber. Keith Lee destroyed. Was it?
AEW's in-house jobber.
Yeah, that's like honestly, I'm over the name. So yeah, I'm over him. Might as well have been Luther. But we Luther? Don't ask that question. We don't want someone to find him. But we get the quick squash, and then before Keith Lee says a damn word, a plane comes out. They say they're not going to do a rap. Everyone boos. They're about to say something, and then they get interrupted by Swerve.
Yeah,
like I'm not just a rapper.
Spooky season.
I'm not just a rapper. I'm a director. I'm be a feature director. And then he just has this weird like Blair Witch Project cam, and he's got Billy Gunn tied up, and Billy Gunn just like, all right, you had your fun. Let's get this over with. Just this weird, awkward confrontation, and then he breaks his fingers with a wrench.
Yeah. I like to think he ripped his fingers off his body. The only thing that made this like
you want to think that? Is that what you like to think?
Yeah. Well, because it's spooky season. Rip his fingers off. Jesus.
Good point.
I liked the only thing that was funny is that he slapped the light, and it was like 3 seconds. It was literally only 3 seconds. But as soon as he hits the lights were supposed to go out. And instead he hits the light, it like swings back and forth, and then the lights go out. But you know what? Again, on a show that is so fucking boring and so monotonous and nothing fucking matters, this is my favorite thing because it's different. It just felt different. Give me something different. I will root for something different, even if it's fucking stupid. And this was dumb, but also let's take a pause for the cause and recognize that this was dumb, but Swerve's work was good, and Swerve at some point could be the biggest heel in AEW. Now that MJF is turning babyface, Swerve can be the biggest heel in AEW. What? Why is that laughable?
Because you saw this and you're like, well, let me say this. Based on what I saw today.
What?
This guy has heel potential.
He has massive heel potential.
You know what they should have.
He's been doing good heel work for the last month.
Good heel work. Fine, passable heel work. Nothing crazy great yet. I'm sure he can be. But I can't say from anything I've seen, it's just like best heel of the company right there.
He can be.
Anyone can be. Serpentico can too. You put Serpentico back there breaking his fingers, it's just as good. Honestly, I wonder who should have that gimmick. Who should have been the one breaking fingers in the back? Sean Spears.
Sure. Yeah.
That's the thing to give
and then he could do his orgasm face after.
Hassan Terrell writes, wow, Usos are in trouble. You damn right they are. Then writes, did CM Punk quit AEW? We'll talk.
We're going to talk about that.
Tony's in the chat.
Tony.
Boom! Haven't seen you in a while, Tones. Tony Khan says AEW is Jericho. Tony Khan would say that. Boom. Yeah. Hassan writes, Crown Jewel 2022 is coming up early November 5th.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch.
That's next. We might have to reschedule the Weekly Wrestle because it's going to run right through the Weekly Wrestle, and no one's.
I guess I have to see Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul. I guess.
Yeah, I guess I like Roman Reigns. I want to see Roman Reigns wrestle.
And Logan Paul's a good wrestler. Woodsy the Beast says, "Remember when we thought Starks and Hobbs were going places after their feud? What a time!"
Yeah, what a time.
What a time to be alive. Hassan writes, the Acclaim says there's no freestyle rap. Where's Billy Gunn? His fingers are broken, Hassan.
Yeah.
He couldn't scissor. But we
how is he going to have a birthday when his fingers are broken?
Yeah, how is he supposed to cut the candles on the cake?
Yeah. Yeah, we got to get to the news because we have a big top 10 list.
We have a big top 10 list today. And we also have a very AEW heavy news.
Yes.
Very AEW heavy. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's any WWE news
Really?
this week. Well, there's one. I'll just say it right now. Emma's in WWE, which I'm excited about.
That is fun. I hope she comes back as Emma, and she's Emma. And the only time, I love Emma. And she had some great matches in WWE, but she didn't really have any good matches outside of WWE. So I hope she gets it back.
I think she's there to help the younger women out and maybe help bring them up. But she could also get over herself. I think she can. I loved her cop glasses. Love the cop glass. No, don't bring back the bubbles.
Okay, all right.
You want the bubbles back? You want fun, choppy Emma?
I have to go back and watch more old choppy Emma and see what happens.
You're right. That's fair. Our first news item of the day, Roy. First news item of the day is it's the first slide there, Tam. The Elite, the Punk, and the Bucks, and then Kenny Omega, and the drama, the status, backstage status. So the Bucks are back. The Bucks are back. Kenny's back.
The Bucks are back in town.
The Bucks and Kenny are back in town, leaving us to believe that they came out victorious in the investigation in some way.
Sure.
But presumably. And they have their video of them coming back. Before we get into the other backstage drama, what do you take from that video? Are you excited about that? Is this something to be excited about?
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Have you ever been excited for an Elite angle? Like, has an Elite angle actually ever met your expectation?
Yes.
Like, could you name one?
Everything that happened in the Elite versus Hangman feud met or exceeded my expectations until Hangman had a baby. And it's not because it's because you lost the momentum and they didn't handle that the right way, in my opinion.
Well, that's Hangman. That is Hangman.
Yeah, but that counts for me.
But
you got to understand that, like, since literally the second show, really even the first show AEW ever ran, they started the storyline. It ran from the very first pay-per-view AEW ever ran in May of 2019, 19, all the way through All Out or Full Gear 2021.
I get what you're saying, and I agree. Adam Hangman Page had a great angle that he was keeping alive the entire time. He was keeping it alive.
It was all of them.
No, but like, if you actually he was the one. It was all his interviews. It was all his interactions. Yeah, they had interactions with him. I'm talking about a Young Bucks or a Kenny focused storyline where they are the storyline that met or exceeded your expectations.
I think it's unfair of you to discount that storyline. I'm
not discounting it.
Hold on. The only reason I'm saying you're discounting it is because you're not counting it. You're literally not counting it. So you're discounting it because you're not counting it.
I'm asking for another one.
Yeah, I liked Kenny. I don't know if it's a specific storyline necessarily, but Kenny's heel turn with Don Callis and them going from AEW to Impact back to AEW, the heel promos he was cutting, the vignettes of him on the golf course and Marvez following them around. Kenny and Don Callis, I think, are fantastic. The Young Bucks haven't had any feuds that I really care about.
Not a single one,
but right? Kenny has.
Okay, fine. Okay, I'll take that because I know you big Don Callis and Kenny fan. I wasn't as big a fan, but I do understand the success of it.
Yeah. Remember that video package where they the crowd was chanting "Fuck you, Don" at Don Callis, and Don Callis recut a video package and he dubbed it over "Thank you, Don," or like "You're sexy, Don," or something like that. Hilarious, amazing. They're great.
We have some comments here before we keep moving on. Hassan writes, "I like Logan Paul," and then writes, "Who's your favorite wrestler?" Mine is Mick Foley. What's yours, Roy?
Probably Sting.
Hell yeah. Let's watch Sting versus Mick Foley today.
Oh, great match.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about it after. But let's continue with CM Punk. CM Punk on the other side of the coin. Boy, are there a lot of things coming out in the news about CM Punk right now? And honestly, I don't believe a lot of them.
I don't believe any of them, and they all came from CM Punk.
No. I'm saying they're the ones coming from CM Punk and the ones coming away from CM Punk. I don't believe a single thing. I feel like we're like the only people that we're actually hearing from are the Elite and Jericho.
Not true.
Essentially. Essentially, Dave Meltzer writes for whatever Chris Jericho calls him up, tells him, and honestly, CM Punk has really hurt his standing in the wrestling journalist community because he pretty much fucked them all over.
No, but hold on a second.
Treat him like shit at the media scrum. I'm just saying.
Let's take a pause for the call.
This is.
I'm sorry. I'm getting heated about this already.
They're talking about CM Punk's drawing power reportedly alienated him from the AEW locker room. That his immediate success. That's one thing that came out. It was a lot of my news comes from Wrestling Inc. This is Ross Berman the fourth. So it talks about how even though he had successful buy rates, they said that they didn't he had successful buy rates, but they didn't meet the expectations they were hoping that he would. So it didn't justify it, which I don't think is true or fair. But there's that, which is, I think, when someone says that, like CM Punk's drawing power reportedly alienated him from the AEW locker room. That is someone feeding that information. You know, that is literally Chris Jericho or the Elite just being like, yeah, his numbers didn't justify. Like that's that type of story. That type of
there are other people who talk to journalists besides Chris Jericho and the Elite.
I believe, and you know what? That's why the thing is, like, we're not. Hold on, we'll get to more of this. So there's that. And then the top AEW stars reportedly refusing to work with CM Punk, and the only one we've heard about. It's only Chris Jericho. It's only Chris Jericho.
And I completely believe that Jericho went up to Punk and said, "You're a locker room cancer, and you don't belong here."
I believe that he said that 100%.
Because he did that to Brock Lesnar. He did that to a lot of people in WWE too.
Yeah, all the people that are higher up than him. He says, honestly, and Jericho would work with Punk if Punk were back with the company and on top.
But here's the thing. I just hate that you're dismissing all of this and that you're shitting on Jericho for doing this, because I think Jericho did the right thing here.
Oh, no.
He did the wrong thing by like immediately being like, "Hey, Meltzer, guess what I said?" I understand that, but also like he's right.
But believe me. I think that they're all pieces of shit. Like, I believe every single one involved.
I don't think that.
I think CM Punk's a piece of shit. I think Jericho's a piece of shit. We both know that to be true. Let's not question this.
But I think here's the thing. Here's the thing. I agree with you, and at the same time, I want to qualify that statement. I think Jericho is a self-absorbed glory hog asshole, sure. But I also think Jericho's the type to do the right thing, but then immediately rub people the wrong way by telling everyone that he did the right thing.
Yeah, and that's what takes it. It's no longer the right thing when it's self-serving. You know, like the thing is, like, if
but how is that the right thing? Like, if my whole thing about, I look at Jericho and I think about what Jericho's done, and I think Jericho thinks in two ways. I think Jericho thinks, how can I help Chris Jericho? And then on top of that, I think he thinks, how can I keep this gravy train going? Because that will help Chris Jericho the most. And CM Punk is poisoning the well that Chris Jericho drinks from, and he's got to go.
No, so I hear you. I'm just saying that we're hearing a lot of stuff come out, and there's not a lot of pro CM Punk stuff. But the reason being is because it's a very political environment in AEW, and always has been. But it's gotten worse since CM Punk got there, because CM Punk is an asshole. And when
he presented like the first strong opposition against the original camp that started AEW.
Yeah, and the original camp kind of held a stronghold. And also, they know how to manipulate the media. They do. That's how they became popular. That's how they became being the elite, was manipulating the internet wrestling community, and not in a bad way.
They literally, in so many ways, created the internet wrestling community through being the elite. Like this contingent of people.
Okay.
All came together under the banner of loving being the elite. Yeah,
they work people online, and just like wrestling is a work, they
made you feel like you were a part of this thing.
And they know how to work people online, and they know how to work journalists online. Because this is like them saying, someone putting out a story just like, "Oh, CM Punk's drawing power reportedly alienated him from the AEW locker room," is one person's opinion.
Well, what's interesting though,
is for that to be news and that to be spread, and that's just one thing, and then it's just like the saying top AEW stars reportedly refusing to work with CM Punk, and they only mention Chris Jericho. So the thing is, it's just
that's
like
a slam dunk.
No, but that's all. These are all like very manipulative stories, and that have literally a story just saying AEW star said CM Punk was a cancer after AEW All Out, and then you look in the article, it was Chris Jericho. It's just like it's so. But we have to move to the next slide though, Roy, because now we're talking about Larry the dog.
Do you know who reported this?
I'm looking everything at Wrestling Inc.
Yeah, you know who reported this through Wrestling Inc.
Oh no, they put out a press statement. CM Punk's camp who said that during the fracas.
But I just want to point out real quick. Do you know who reported? Who got this information? It was Nick Hausman, the guy that CM Punk called out to start the press conference. Because I think what happened was,
it is Nick Hausman. You're right.
Hausman was like, "I'm not friends with Colt Cabana. Get away from me." And then after it was all over, privately, Punk reached out to Hausman and apologized. And now they've struck up a bit of not like a friendship, but like they're friendly enough where Punk could be like, "Hey, this is what happened. Here's the story that I'm feeding you."
So like he's saying, Punk says that during the fracas, Like they went back to their locker room. Ace Steel, his wife, Larry, and CM Punk, all heated, whatever. Then someone knocked in the door, not knocked in, like broke it down, but just like slammed open the door, hit the mouth of Larry, causing 2 teeth to become loose, which then needed to be extracted. And so that's the story from CM Punk's camp, that he had 2 teeth removed after this incident.
Yeah.
And now, so that was the story then. And I'm inclined to believe someone if someone says their dog is hurt.
No, I don't believe that.
You're not inclined to believe someone if someone says.
Let me tell you. Have you read anything about what Meltzer wrote?
Hold on, we'll continue on with that. But you don't. You're already saying.
I don't believe that story now.
Okay, well, sources close to the Elite deny story from Punk camp about AW All Out aftermath, and they say, "Oh, we were just being nice. I was just picking up that Kenny Omega picked up the dog to protect Larry from the fight or scuffle, and that was what happened. That nothing happened with the dog, and the dog didn't lose
picked up the dog and gave it to the homegirl who's like the lead attorney for AEW.
So you know what we have to do, Roy?
We have to teleport to.
We have to see Larry's teeth.
Yeah, well, sure.
We got to see Larry's teeth and see who's right. Honestly,
yeah, but like that means nothing though. That means that he could have had those teeth taken out.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like we have to find the medical bills.
But like he could have had those teeth taken out separate from anything. Like he could have already needed to have those.
You think that it was entirely CM Punk completely bold-faced lying about his dog being hurt?
Yes. Yes.
Why?
I'm not saying I'm
curious as to why, though.
That. I'm not saying I think that. I'm just saying he could maybe misremember something. Look, if you read what Meltzer wrote, he quotes people from, he literally says CM Punk's camp, the Elite's camp, and then a neutral source who was in the room. I'm just saying he particularly calls out people from the Elite camp, who's probably the Elite, people from Punk's camp, who's probably either Punk or Ace Steel. And then there's other people who were in the room at the time. MJF was in the room. That lawyer was in the room. Jericho was nearby. All these people were in the room.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that like right
so what
now,
I'm saying,
only heard from the
neutral
Elite camp.
Source. No,
we don't know this neutral source.
Yes, I'm just saying, according to Meltzer, who I do trust, and if Joe was here, he'd bury me for saying that. I'm just saying, if Meltzer is specifically stating that this is what Punk's camp is saying, and this is what the Elite's camp is saying, and then he specifically states this is what a neutral source says, then that means to me he has someone who isn't in either of those camps who's just stating what they saw. And according to what Meltzer saw, or what this neutral source saw that Meltzer wrote, Kenny picked up the dog, gave it to the lawyer, and Punk was not paying attention at all to what was going on to his dog because he was going to kill the Elite. He wasn't paying attention to his dog.
I can't wait for this neutral source to be leaked out that it was Serpentico. Nobody cares.
I'm just saying. Look,
hey, Luther. Like,
here's
just
the
people
thing.
that in the room, like because neutral source. It's just. I'm just saying. All we have are rumors. We have are rumors.
Of course.
But we do have someone saying their dog got hurt. And
right.
I trust someone that says their dog got hurt.
Look.
More than someone's just like, no, I protected the dog in the fracas. I was holding the dog, saving it from everything. Like,
can I take you on a journey here? Can I take you on a journey? I'm going to take you on a journey. Okay,
yeah,
hear me out.
Where's my daiquiri?
So CM Punk, as we've discovered, lies. He lies all the time. Hold on. Let me hear me out.
I agree with
he's concerned, even when he says that he's not. He is concerned about his public image, what people think of him, and what his story is, right? Like, he's like, I gave up watching wrestling as soon as I walked out that door. Bullshit. We found out that was a lie. Hold on. Run with me here. Run with the Bulls. We're running with the Bulls. The Chicago Bulls. So he has this public persona, this public image to keep up. And he always has done that. He's always thinking about his public image. So now he's trying to negotiate this buyout to get out of his contract. And maybe the WWE's on the table for him. But he knows that if the public perception of what happened, whether it's true or not, is that he was the crazy one. He lost this investigation. They did a legal investigation with a third party, and they clearly found that Punk was the problem here, not the people who entered the room.
We haven't clearly found anything yet.
Yes, but Punk's not coming back, and the Elite are already back. So that tells you something's going on. So Punk is saying to himself, I need to cover my tracks. I need to tell a story. I need to get this information out here. And what's the best possible way? What is the best possible way to justify my behavior? Larry, my dog. Something happened to my dog and I went crazy. Yes, I did all the things that they're saying I did, but it's because they hurt my dog and no one hurts my dog. I'm just saying it's possible. That's all. Okay. I'm just saying it's possible.
One thing I can say is that Punk did lie in the Colt Cabana interview where he said that you could clearly see that he had a bump on his back. He did not. I do not believe for a second that he said to someone that he had staph infection and they let him wrestle or something. Or what? Like if you say these certain things, they're not going to have you wrestle.
I also have to go back and keep track of this, but I saw a series of tweets that contradict a lot of the things that Punk said about Cabana at that post-scrum All Out too, about Cabana wanting to drop it and willing to pay things, like actually working with Punk a lot more, but Punk being unwilling to work with Cabana too.
Who said this?
So I saw there's screenshots of emails out there between the two because they needed to share these screenshots for legal reasons, and they leaked and they're out there. They exist in the world. And one of these wrestling investigative journalists did the research and showed that some of the things that Punk said in that post-scrum weren't actually accurate about Cabana.
Okay, well,
but it's a different thing. It's a different thing.
But we have some comments here. Woodsy B says if Don was with Kenny from the beginning, maybe Pac would be over. Interesting.
Well, it's not Kenny's fault.
It's not Kenny's fault.
Kenny's not the booker.
Hassan writes, "My Kevin Nash and Rhino for Impact. They have new tag team champions. Kevin Nash and Rhino.
What's his heck?
Heath Slater.
Yeah, Heath
Slater.
Rhino.
Hassan says it was at Louis, Missouri, and it was awesome. That's cool. Thank you so much, cool. Hassan. Tony writes, go ask Eddie Kingston what he really thinks of Punk Red. Yeah, I'll ask Eddie Kingston. I can't wait to get more Eddie
I really do think that a lot of people are happy that he's not around.
I do think there are a lot of people that are happy that he's not around, but I also think there are a lot of people that really like CM Punk being there. FTR, Darby Allin.
Sure, of course. Britt Baker, Adam Cole.
Baker. Yeah, well, I have a question.
Well, Adam Cole was I think Adam Cole was indifferent because he's going to side with his friends every time.
Yeah. But I have a question. When, FTR, their demise or their lack of push goes right alongside CM Punk's media scrum.
I don't buy that necessarily.
They were on top. They were over. They were tagging with Punk in the main event. We
haven't seen a lot. There was going to be a trios singles matches.
And then as soon as that ended, so CM Punk's thing, they have plummeted.
Well, I think they've also been doing a lot of New Japan stuff.
But you know what I'm saying? I mean, feels
it's not untrue.
Coincidental.
It's not untrue.
Woodsy the Beast says, yes, Roy. Jericho does the right thing. Just don't ask where he was on January 6th.
Also true. Especially his wife.
Son writes, Call of Duty Modern Warfare released today on PS4 and PS5. Let's go!
Thank God they're still making things for PS4.
Yeah, no, Roy needs it. Yeah. We have Belle Renette in the chat.
Belle,
bless you. Hi, guys. We need a high school principal backstage AEW at this point. You're damn right, Belle.
You're damn right, Belle.
You're damn right. Belle. Oh, no. Sorry.
Wrong one.
Wrong one. I'm so sorry. That's for you. Where's my pew-pews? That's for you, Belle. Hassan writes, Hassan writes, okay, you need a high school principal for high school. You're damn right, Hassan.
You need a high school principal for both.
That's smart.
AEW is basically high school.
Hassan, you're ready for Halloween edition of Raw on Monday. I'm ready for it.
Oh, no.
Let's go.
I'm never ready for a Halloween. Any holiday edition of Raw. I
can't wait for Baron Corbin to face Madcap Moss in a pumpkin
street fight. Yeah.
Bell writes, night job. Night job? What do you mean by that? Are you at your night job?
That's their night job. They're a high school principal during the day, and then at night, they're the AEW principal.
Oh, Bell, tell us more. Thank you so much for joining us, Bell. And also, everyone who's watching, y'all are being freeloaders by not smashing that like button.
Whoa. Well, we have good interns.
It's the least you could do. That's literally the equivalent of taking off your shoes when you enter my house. I do ask
is that your rule when people go into your apartment? You got to take your shoes off.
Yeah.
Really? That makes sense.
Always have. Yeah. But that being said, I'm being less about it. If there's a carpet.
Yeah.
Hassan writes, Chairs Church is on Sunday, so bless you. Chairs church on Sunday. All worship the mighty chair. The mighty recliner.
Chair.
Hassan, we love you. Tony writes, Tiger suplex on
Larry. Knock those teeth right out of his face.
Tony writes, evidence number 23, Larry's x-rays. Hassan writes, I did enjoy SmackDown and AEW Rampage review. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Hassan.
great.
We try.
Great.
Even though we didn't review SmackDown yet, but we will.
Yeah, we talked
Hassan writes, well, show me the poll. What? We should start having polls.
We should start having polls, yeah.
Tony writes, we think alike, Roy. You are right on the money. You and Tony Khan, right on the money. Yeah,
that's
you
right.
and Tony Khan.
That's right.
We have to keep moving on, Roy.
Yeah, we got to keep rolling. We got a top 10 list.
We're going to stay on the CM Punk real quick because you know who's real bummed about all this?
No.
Ace Steel.
Because he doesn't have a job anymore?
Apparently Ace Steel has been really sad. And he's getting a lot of flack online. And you know the only person that's legally allowed to talk about this
is Ace Steel?
His wife.
Oh, interesting.
Is the only one legally allowed to
she's
talk
not an
about
employee.
this in public. Not an employee, witness. She's allowed to. So maybe we'll hear something from her soon. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I'd hear it. I'd like to hear it. Yeah. She just buries Ace.
She's like, yeah, I got a broken foot. I couldn't get out of the way. And then my husband bit someone. And I said, Ace, you got to stop biting people.
Where's your gummies? Where's your gummies? Get him a toothpick. Next slide there, Tam, because we have more behind the scenes drama. Right.
What?
A little bit, just like kind of like
it just
fallout. Fallout from
ends.
Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara, apparently the feeling backstage is that he's disrespectful, and this is his second strike. There's a lot of feeling backstage like hey, this guy needs to grow up.
Technically, this is his third strike, but that's fine.
There's even more probably.
Yeah.
But like there's talk that this is like he's got to shape up or ship out.
Yeah, I really think he needs to ship out because and honestly, I really don't think there's anything. He's just not worth it. Like he can't talk. He's not a good character. He's really annoying.
Yeah.
There's nothing likable or interesting about him.
Yeah, 100%. And also some fallout from. Did you read a lot about Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker?
I just said they don't like each other.
Hate each other. They despise each other, and they've hated each other the entire time they've been working together. And it got even worse when Thunder Rosa broke Jamie Hayter's nose.
Yeah, sure. And she hid in the bathroom.
Yeah, and there was talk of her being stiff, and there's just a lot of stuff. And so, yeah, it's just a chaotic atmosphere back there. Who do you think could be the women's locker room leader?
Paige?
Saraya.
Yeah, Saraya. Yeah.
Because Britt Baker's not a good one.
No, I don't know. I think someone like despite the fact that she's never on TV. Well, she's been injured, but like I think Ruby Soho should step up, even though she's never on TV. I think homegirl Athena should step up, even though she's not really on TV right now either. Like the people with experience who they brought in should be stepping up.
Yeah. 100%, 110%. We have some comments here. Bell writes, Sammy again, of course. You damn right, Bell. Bell, we love you, Bell. Woodsy says, are we sure it wasn't Ace's teeth that were broken when he bit Kenny?
Kenny's,
that's cute.
There's
like two teeth stuck in his arm.
I just can't cut it. It's like a BB.
Yeah,
it's like the BB in the Royal Tenenbaums that'll never come out.
And they're just like, what's that in your knuckle? Like, Ace steals teeth. Hassan writes, I like Jake, but he's cool too. Jake Paul? Jake the Snake Roberts? Jake the Snake Roberts? Bell writes, you mean Brittany Flair? Who's Brittany Flair?
Is that? I think that's Charlotte's real name.
No. That's Meg.
I think Charlotte's real name is... Oh, is it Megan?
I think so.
No, Megan is Conrad's wife.
Oh. Ashley.
Ashley.
Who's Brittany Flair, Bell? You're trying to confuse us? And also,
I know what she's saying that. Okay, I get it. Brittany Flair, Britt Baker is acting like Charlotte Flair acts in the WWE, like a prima donna.
Oh, okay.
You mean Brittany Flair?
Said Britt DM Flair, Britt Baker. Yeah, Bell clarified. Thank you so much, Bell.
Was I right?
Yeah, you were right. And also, smash the like button.
Way to go, Bell.
I just said for y'all to do it, and y'all haven't done it.
Sometimes it's slow to update.
All right. We have to keep moving on, right? What is that? We have to keep moving on.
It's my face. I don't know.
We have some people that have become all elite.
Oh, yeah.
Next slide there, Tam. We've got Bandito, Juice Robinson, Josh Woods.
Yeah.
All elite.
Sure.
All of them.
Yeah.
This is I have a question.
Yeah.
Has anyone come into, besides CM Punk and MJF, has anyone come into AEW and they're better from before they came in? Or bigger, or more important? As a single one besides CM Punk and MJF come in.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't really care.
Maybe Moxley too.
Yeah, Moxley's coming to his own.
Eddie.
I would think, I mean, Jericho is doing work as good as, especially his first year in the company. If we take out his face run and just look at his heel work, it's the best work he's done since like 2009.
Yeah.
I mean, Orange Cassidy was nothing before AEW, and Orange Cassidy is great. Pac, despite the fact that he's not used that often, is also incredible.
I wouldn't say he's better than he was when he came in.
When? Better than when he was. When
Pac came in with a lot more thunder, like a lot more like, like he could be a main eventer. Now he is not a main eventer.
Well, that's true. They haven't booked him well, but I also think Hangman, despite like his recent downturn, obviously Hangman has grown leaps and bounds.
Well, I guess maybe I guess you're right. You're right. There are people.
Think and again, you're gonna fucking laugh at me, but I think when all is said and done, Swerve will have done better work than he did in WWE.
I'm saying right now he is less than when he came
in. Okay.
Same with Keith.
And that's the shame. The shame of it is that someone like Miro, who's obviously less than he was when he came in now, but there was a period of time where Miro was the best he's ever been.
Yeah.
And better, I mean, he came in as the best man, and that was like a slow build. And then he's the best. He's probably the best TNT champion there ever was.
Yeah. Well,
and also,
him and Cody.
Him and Cody, and that's true. That is true. It's unfair of me to discount Cody. And I would also say, obviously, it was very sadly it was cut short, but I think Brody Lee was doing some of the best work of his career as well before his untimely passing. So, I mean, there's definitely been guys. I know that there's a recency bias and like the booking is stalled out and it's felt a little stale at times. I would argue that like Danielson is also doing the best work of his career since he was the all organic heavyweight champion when he had the hemp title.
I think when he first came in, there was some fire. Yeah. He is not as important as he was then. Then he was a needle mover, and
he could Hangman feud.
His Hangman feud, those 3 months,
up
until Blackpool Club, you know, and now it's a shame.
Now he's just doing his thing. He needs to get built up again.
Hassan writes, Rock's daughter is awesome. Have you seen Rock's daughter?
I saw her reveal.
It was good.
Her reveal, which was pretty interesting. Yeah.
Good job.
Ivy Nile or Avid Rain.
Rainy
evening.
Avenue.
Rainy evening.
Rainy evening. Oh, actually, that's not bad. Yeah, Hassan writes, Miz can leave wrestling as well. Hassan, bringing the fire.
Look out. Where's Joe?
Bell writes, I don't know. I might miss some of his promos.
The Miz.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think the Miz is terrible.
Hey, 2016 Miz, best Miz there ever was.
Yeah, 100%. The Phenom. We have to keep moving on, Roy. We have to keep moving on because next slide there, Tim. Ooh, Chavo.
Oh my God. This is never good.
Chavo's best music. Yes, and he lands a wrestling coordinator role, an acting role for a major film.
Oh,
you know which film?
Is it the Von Erichs movie?
Yeah.
Is he playing his dad?
I would love for him to play his dad. Maybe honestly.
That's great. Did you see that picture of Zac Efron?
Yeah. So let's talk about that real quick. Shouldn't he be Carrie?
He is Carrie, I thought.
He's Kevin.
He's Kevin. Who's Carrie?
Carrie's the guy from The Bear.
Oh, wow. That's really interesting.
Looks great. I think his face would look great for Carrie.
Good hair.
But he is not as big as Zac Efron.
Yeah, Zac Efron's right juiced. That's why I thought when I saw that, I was like, "That's Carrie, right?"
Right? But no, it's not. He's Kevin.
He's Kevin.
And also, he looks a lot older than the guy from The Bear.
Yeah. This is interesting.
And Kevin's
some interesting casting.
It's weird. I'm not sure. It's like I think he's like, how tall is Zac Efron and how tall is that? What's that guy's name?
Carmi? I don't know. I just know it's a character from The Bear.
Bear.
Jeremy Allen White? I think it's Jeremy Allen White.
Jeremy Allen White. Let's see how tall this dude is.
5'7". Like, yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like they're both 5'7".
Zac Efron. If he's taller, that's a problem.
Put some lifts in his shoes.
Yeah, we should get some lifts. 5'8". For Christ's sakes, what are we doing, Roy?
What are we doing? I don't know. They're gonna be on stilts.
Jeez, I don't know.
Have you ever heard? I meant to ask you this, and since we're talking about Chavo Guerrero Jr., have you ever heard the Mountain Goats? You know the band, the Mountain Goats? Yeah. Have you heard their Chavo Guerrero song?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, great song.
Great song. They love wrestling. They just love wrestling.
Yeah, they love those territory days.
They do.
Also, Tales from the Territory, very good.
I haven't watched the second or third episode.
Or fourth.
There's fourth out?
I don't care so much about the AWA one, but they did one about championship wrestling from Florida, which was excellent. And then the one
I'm excited about that one.
Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler is also really, really good too.
I didn't like the first one.
First one was okay, but the Lawler Coffin one's great, and then the championship wrestling from Florida one's great. There's a weird story in the AWA one that takes way too long about Adrian Adonis pooping in a bag. That
great.
I don't like. I
just need all those stories.
Yeah.
Desan writes, R-Truth rap's cool and Hit Row are awesome. Sure. I love R-Truth. R-Truth is great.
Yeah.
We have to go to the next slide there. Next slide, Tam. We gotta talk about Vincent Kennedy McMahon's ridiculous amount of money he's made from leaving.
Oh, really?
Because he kept all his stock, dog.
Sure, of course.
And the stock's been doing real good.
Yeah, that's right. Because he left.
Yeah. And he is, I think his net worth, where does it here? His net worth was 1.8 billion.
Yeah.
Now it's 2.3.
Wow.
Almost not double, but definitely a 50% increase in wealth.
Yeah.
Pretty nuts.
Yeah, Vince McMahon continues to be a complex character to me. He's definitely a terrible person, but then you still hear certain things. And I guess, duality, right?
Yeah.
People can be bad.
He's probably a good person and a very bad person.
Do you know, because I don't know if you heard any of I read the highlights. I couldn't listen to it. It would have destroyed me. But Kevin Nash did a podcast about the passing of his son. And he mentions the people that reached out to him. And he said that he got a text from a mysterious Connecticut number. He didn't know who it was. And it was Vince. And Vince was just Vince said, if you need anything, I'm here. Just let me know. Which is, again, Vince is a bad person. Vince is a businessman. So at the end of the day, he's a bad person because he's a businessman. Yeah. But for the most part, if you stay loyal to Vince, he'll always stay loyal to you.
Yeah. He still paid those old timers.
Yeah, right. I can't even imagine with the books for WWE how many people are secretly not secretly, but not
Pat
publicized,
Patterson was
but
getting
on the book. Yeah.
Pat Patterson was getting it. Gerald Briscoe didn't. But he was probably getting. Freddie Blassie.
I bet Sergeant Slaughter's still getting paid.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people
That's
that
not
he really.
The last time we're going to be talking about Sergeant Slaughter on this episode.
Oh, well, I can't wait. And so we're moving on to the next slide, though.
Yeah.
Because the next one, Jim Ross. Jim Ross, just an update on his commentary career. By the way, Jim Ross on this episode of Rampage, amazing job.
Yeah.
This is the best. Because he must have just got his testosterone boost, and he gets a booster. We found out on his podcast.
That's good.
Loves those boosts. And he must have just got it right before it goes, he was live, and we're live here. We're going to have fun tonight.
He was so excited at one point that he started stumbling over his words, and he's like, I'm so excited, Excalibur, I just lost my train of thought.
Oh, God, I love it. Love coked out JR.
Yeah, call it out.
Yeah, love it. And so he said that he's probably going to be ending his career. No, once his contract, but he's like, I'm going to end my career on Rampage, he says.
That's good.
He's like, I started off doing a 1 hour show, and I'm going to end my career doing a 1 hour show. And honestly, I think Rampage is good with him there.
Love it.
I think they should treat Rampage a little bit more seriously. Maybe have MGF on it once. I don't think he's ever been on it.
Yeah, maybe not.
Just let's do something to make it a reason to watch. Because honestly, seeing Swerve castrate Billy Gunn's fingers, it's just not. It's not for me.
I don't think that's the proper.
I like it.
Describe that. All right.
Castrate fingers. Wait,
Sure.
Hold on. Let's say is castrate because I know castration. What castration is?
Yes.
But what is the actual verb castrate?
I don't know. We're gonna find out though.
Definition. Remove the testicles. Okay, never mind. I just looked it up. Are you looking it up?
I'm trying to, but my phone's moving very
Oh,
slowly.
I got it. I already got it.
Did you say it again?
Yeah, verb. Remove the testicles. That's it. Yeah. Okay, we got to move on. We got to move on. We can't talk about this. Is the last piece of news for the day.
Okay.
Last piece. Next slide there, Tim. Drake Wirtz. Ever heard of him?
Oh God. Yeah,
I've heard about this.
I've heard of him.
Have you heard about this? The XPW show?
No. Did he show up?
He's a wrestler again.
Oh, really?
And he made a terribly transphobic promo, and that's going to be his new angle now. He's going to be make wrestling great again. He said he's going to make wrestling great again.
Hold on a second.
And he has joined a group called MAGA that has Danny Ramirez and Necro Butcher.
God, it's transphobic. I'm bad.
Oh, St. Clair. I'm sorry, St. Clair. Who's that? Jasmine St. Clair.
Wow, Jasmine
Necro
St.
Butcher.
Clair.
And Drake Wirtz are, and apparently this is all from the genius of Rob Black. XPW's garbage, and we don't support them, right?
XPW is absolutely garbage. I don't support it. When it first launched, I was like, "Oh my God, no way! This is unfucking believable."
Were you looking at pictures of Necro Butcher with a red hat on?
No, their next show is in Newark, New Jersey, and it's on November 12th. And Drake Younger is fighting Schlack in a King of the Deathmatch match. I just can't believe this fucking douchebag asshole was a deathmatch wrestler, got out of it, became like a senior referee with the WWE, like did it, got the gig to like let him coast for the rest of his life. Shot his fucking mouth off, lost his fucking job, ran for school board or something in Florida, yeah. Fucked that up. He had a Patreon that had, you know how many patrons his Patreon had?
Who?
Zero. A fucking goose egg.
Fucking got him.
And now he's a deathmatch wrestler again for XPW. What a fucking joke. Guy's a fucking joke.
The picture I posted is of Drake Wirtz tweeting to Joey Ryan. So proud of you, Joey. God is working on you, brother. Keep surrounding yourself with others pursuing Christ.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's a real tweet. And then Joey Ryan liked it and hearted it.
Oh my God.
It's just, we need to, XPW's garbage. Please, nobody support them. I don't even know why I put them in the news, honestly.
It's the worst, the best worst thing that happened from Dark Side of the Ring is Rob Black was like, people care about XPW again, and then relaunched XPW because of it.
I hate it.
He's
so much.
A fucking giant piece of shit. I tried to watch these like XPW YouTube videos like before their relaunch because I was curious if they were actually serious about it. Clearly, I couldn't get through them. Yeah.
We have some comments here. Bell says, I hope this encourages him to stay retirement. Jim Ross reference. Hassan writes, Jim Ross is cool. AEW Dark was showing full gear in November. What does that mean, Roy?
Say it again.
What are you watching? Are you watching
I was pulling
clips?
up our stream. I was pulling up our stream because I need to do the top 10.
Oh, sure. That's fair. Bell writes, excuse me? I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Bell. Chica Marks writes, didn't he learn anything from Brian Kendrick Fallout? No, he did not, because Brian Kendrick was doing apologizing for a bad work he did, and he admits was a bad work in 2011-12. Drake Wirtz believes in absolutely everything he's saying.
Yes, 100%.
And we don't like him.
Yes,
Bell writes, there is some lines that should not be crossed, and that is one of them. You're damn right, Bell.
You're right,
Bell, you should join the internship. Yeah. Jump in the Discord.
Jump in our Discord. Send us an email.
By the way, it's free. We're not paying you to be in the internship. No. And you're not doing anything to work
just hanging out.
You're just hanging out. That's our term for our friends, Bell. You know this. You watch. Hassan writes, my MP3 player is cool. I got it for Best Buy. Oh.
Sick. That's
sick,
awesome.
Dog.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Hassan.
Yeah, it's
love
not
MP3
an iPod.
players.
But I guess iPods don't exist anymore, or do they? I have no idea.
I don't know. Is it a shuffle, Hassan?
Ooh.
But that's the end of the news, Roy.
That's the end of the news. So we got to get to it. Red, I've been thinking long and hard about this, and realistically, I didn't come up with a really great 10. I came up with a really solid 6. So the last 4, kind of filler. We'll do it though.
I can't wait.
We're doing it. Tam, hit that introductory slide. This is going to be, as for all you first time watchers out there, every now and then I do a top 10 list
Oh yeah.
A top 10 of whatever. And the secret to my top 10 list, I'm revealing it now, is that I don't do any research. It's just for my brain. So sometimes you're like, what about this? Well, it wasn't in my brain, so I didn't put it in there.
Go fuck yourself.
Whoa. I don't swear like that.
No, you would never curse.
So before we get into it, it's the top 10 transitional champions. And what I've written here is the definition,
I like this.
My definition of a transitional champion. I have to hold my phone close because the writing's small. I've defined a transitional champion as a wrestler awarded the world title to increase interest in an eventual main event at a big event. I just used event twice. This champion is crowned so they can lose in an effort to make the individual new champion a bigger deal. Does that make sense to everybody?
I think it makes sense. So essentially, it's a way to facilitate the title to eventually go to someone else.
Right. So sometimes there will be a guy who's holding the heavyweight title and it's not going so well for him. But they need to still push this out another 3 or 4 months so they can get to a big show like WrestleMania. Sure. So they take the title off the champion, put it on a more popular wrestler so that more popular wrestler can lose to the eventual person who they want to hold the title long term.
Okay. I think we're on the same page.
So
if anyone has any questions, shout on this.
Please jump into the chat. But let's go to number 10, Tam. Hit that number 10 slide for me.
Number 10.
Number 10. This one's a little wishy-washy because there was some weird booking that happened that led to this. But number 10, the loser of the heavyweight title match in the main event of WrestleMania 13 in 1997, Psycho Sid. Psycho Sid was champion for about 1 month. Because they needed a guy who was going to look good next to Undertaker because they knew that Undertaker was going to be the guy to win the title at WrestleMania. And the title was put on him solely so he could lose to the Undertaker.
Interesting.
So Psycho Sid is number 10.
But do you think that was so? Why did you put him? Do you think that when you say top 10 transitional champions, when you're grading them, are you grading them on their impact as a champion or what they did for the person receiving the belt?
What they did for the person receiving the belt and the person who got the belt, what that meant to the business when they got the belt.
It was a pretty important moment for Taker to be established as the champion. This was
his first main event of WrestleMania. He won the title for the first time here.
The first time where he's not the transitional champion, he's the champion.
Right, he's the champion.
Yeah.
He is the champion.
Okay, I'm not mad at it.
I think I know who number 9 is, and I already disagree with my order here, but that's fine. Let's go to number 9 there, Tam. I think
the Boogeyman.
The Boogeyman was never champ, although I'm not from a lack of trying.
Yeah,
I should also say, while we get to number 9, while Tam switches over to the slides, this is only WWE because WCW never had a clear enough plan on their world title to ever have a transitional champion. There was never a clear enough plan.
You're keeping it to WWE because it'd be impossible with WCW.
It's impossible. So number 9, it is Chris Jericho when his first ever title run as the first ever undisputed champion. He essentially won the title in December at, was that Vengeance? The first ever Vengeance?
Vengeance. He won from Stone Cold and The Rock in the same night.
So they had to put him over. So now he's an important champion. But then what happened 2 weeks later? Triple H comes back from his first ever quad injury. The first ever time in the history of his run in the WWE that he was out for an extended period of time. He gets this massive pop at Madison Square Garden. And in that moment, that he's going to win in the main event of WrestleMania. He's going to win the Royal Rumble, and he's going to beat the champion. So it was Chris Jericho's job to be that transitional champion to then be the person who eventually gets beat by Triple H. It was his sole job. Yeah.
Do you think that if Chris Jericho's reign during this time frame was more successful for him as a heel, rather than him just be a lackey to Stephanie, essentially, would he have won at WrestleMania?
No. I don't think
because he did beat The Rock and Stone Cold in the same fucking night.
He beat The Rock and Stone Cold in the same fucking night because Vince McMahon was like, I need to establish this guy as my heavyweight champion because Triple H can't beat Rock or Stone Cold. He has to beat someone else.
Okay.
So, and then the reason he's number 9, although he should be number 8, and number 8 should be number 9. My fault.
Can I just say real quick, we have a thing here. Hassan writes, I eat waffles and pancakes are awesome.
Hell yeah.
Honestly, what do you prefer, Roy? Waffles or pancakes? We'll do this on a poll. But what is yours?
I'm gonna go pancakes. You remember when you sold me out?
I sold you out?
Yeah, you sold me out, you jerk. We went to a Waffle House, and I was like, they don't have pancakes here? And you were like, no, it's a Waffle House. And I was like, well, I wanted pancakes. And you're like, well, then let's leave then. And we got up to leave, and as we were leaving, the waitress came over to us, and you were like, hey, sorry, we're leaving. This guy wanted pancakes. Can you believe that? He sold me out.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was the day of Anything on TV, the movie on stage. We both took off of work.
That's so funny.
It's really funny.
That's really, a really funny thing. I'm very happy that you remember that.
Yeah,
say it at my funeral.
Yeah, I will. That's gonna be it's gonna be my eulogy.
Yeah, post it online. Get some likes.
Yeah.
Make sure these fuckers like it. For Christ's sakes, you'll live stream my death. Okay,
it's a good idea. Can I do like a solo piece where I'm doing the eulogy to your funeral?
Yeah,
that's kind of funny. That's kind of funny.
What I'm saying right now, my funeral, you book it.
Okay.
I'm giving you complete creative control over my funeral.
I love it. That's great.
I have to talk to an attorney about this because my parents might fight you.
All right, Tim. Now that we've gone there, let's go to number 8. Like I said, number 8 should probably be number 9, but number 8 is The Big Show from Survivor Series 2002. He is a transitional champion to another transitional champion. So he's like a transitional champion because
who did he lose to?
So
he lost to Brock.
Let me paint the picture for you. Brock wins. There are actually on this list, 3 of the 10 people on this list are all tied to Brock Lesnar in some way, which is pretty interesting. And they're all from 2002, 2003. The year of the transitional champion really is 2002. There were so many heavyweight champions that year. I can think of about 5 transitional champions just from that year. Anyway, Brock wins the title at SummerSlam. But obviously, Brock is your new number 1 mega babyface, and your new number 1 mega babyface needs to win the title again at WrestleMania. So how do we get the title off of him and turn him babyface as well? Because he starts as a heel. So at Survivor Series, Brock, who's injured because he wrestled The Undertaker in the Hell in a Cell the month prior, Paul Heyman keeps saying, don't wrestle the Big Show. Don't wrestle the Big Show. He's going to kill you. He's going to kill you. You're hurt. He's like, get out of my face, Paul. I know what I'm doing. I'm now a babyface. I'm slowly becoming one, just like MJF is right now. So he fights the Big Show. He does his impressive power moves to the Big Show. Paul Heyman turns on Brock, choke slam on the chair.
Beautiful
Big Show
choke slam.
Wins. Beautiful choke slam.
Honestly, Big Show, one of the best choke slams.
One of the best choke slams. And also this version, Black Jeans Big Show in 2002.
Best Big Show.
Really good Big Show.
Peak
really
Big
good.
Show.
Yeah.
Like it took him 10 years to find what he should be. It should be fat and jeans.
Yeah, and just a badass who doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And even through 2003 when he's like putting people on the stretcher and swinging the stretcher and stuff.
Fucking love it.
Yeah, really good. So this is really the beginning of that. So he wins this title and takes it off of Brock, therefore skyrocketing Brock to babyfacedom, and Big Show really in the perfect role of like the heel heater who's primed to put the babyface over.
This is a very good one. I like
and now we're going to stop here because he loses the title to another person who is much later on this list. Top 3 or 4 on this list. In my opinion, again, my brain.
Okay.
So let's move to number 7, Tam.
Number 7.
I don't remember who number 7 is, so let's give it a second here.
Beep, beep, boop, 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 boop. Pew, 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 pew,
waffles
pew.
and pancakes are awesome.
Right?
What did you didn't decide? What's your preferred?
It really depends. If it's a good waffle, I'll take it.
Yeah.
But pancakes, there's more.
That's true.
I want more.
So number 7 on my list.
Interesting.
This is an interesting one, and this is a reach. And I was thinking about this.
This is a reach.
And I'll tell you why it's a reach, but I'll tell you why it makes sense. You were there.
I was there.
So AJ Styles comes into the company, into WWE in 2016. Debuts at the Royal Rumble, has like a stare down with Roman Reigns, has a good showing in the Rumble, fights Jericho, has a feud with Jericho. Turns
Shitty
heel.
Rumble.
Shitty Rumble in 2016, yes. Turns heel. Well, no, he doesn't turn heel just yet. He wins a number 1 contenders match night after WrestleMania, and him and Roman Reigns have 2 great pay-per-view matches right after WrestleMania, establishing Roman Reigns as a dominant heavyweight champion. Then the draft happens, and he goes to SmackDown. Or actually, before the draft, he turns heel. AJ Styles turns heel and starts feuding with John Cena. And they have bangers.
John Cena's best
unforgettable
matches.
bangers. And John Cena loses to AJ Styles. John Cena loses to AJ Styles. And by the way, one of my favorite things is that one of Cena's armbands AJ gets and wears it as a headband because Cena's arms are so fucking big. And so
his armbands are headbands.
Oh, well, yeah, okay, fine.
It's just more fun yesterday, I was wearing headbands as armbands because me and John Cena have similar arm sizes.
It's true.
Now.
It's very true.
Actually, he probably still beats me, but 18 inches, dog.
Love it. I love that for you.
Yeah,
you're so close to the 24-inch pythons, but you're doing it on natural, and that's all that matters. Well, anyway.
Whey protein.
Styles then turns heel, beats Cena, goes to SmackDown, wins the heavyweight title, beats Moxley, at the time Dean Ambrose, has that weird thing with fuckhead with no chin, Ellsworth.
Sure.
And then Cena comes back, wants his win back, and they fight at the Royal Rumble. And all of this leads to Cena beating AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble for the heavyweight title, which was the plan all along, so Cena could officially tie Ric Flair for the most heavyweight title wins in the history of wrestling.
But do you think...
It's a stretch.
It's a stretch. You think that was purely the reason?
No, I don't. This is a stretch. This is also should have been higher up on the list. And the reason this is a stretch is because Cena then loses the title the next month.
Because I think Big Show should be in this spot right now.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Because I really like Big Show. Big Show, I think, is the best one on here so far.
So really, and that's the thing, 6 through 1, and I'm very firm on. But these 7 through 10 are like a little wishy-washy. But, yeah.
Bell writes, I really don't know what was the better Cena match, the SummerSlam match versus AJ Styles, or regrettably at the moment, the Money in the Bank versus CM Punk?
Really good question.
That's a great question, Bell.
Really good question.
Fuck yeah, Bell. Yeah. Join the Discord. Email us at loserleavespod@gmail.com.
We got to
get you in the Discord, Bell. We have to get you an internship. And also, make sure to call the hotline, 201-574-7222. Do not donate to the Patreon. It does not exist.
Yeah, Patreon's dead. I got to take that out of there. I'm so sorry. That's a really good question. That is a really, really good question. I would probably go with the Punk match because the crowd was just a little hotter.
Was absolutely nuts. But probably the better technical match. But honestly, I actually really love the story of John Cena and AJ Styles just because of top of their respective companies. AJ was always kind of I'm not.
Yeah.
I've not been John Cena, I guess. I never will be.
And we saw this match. We were there in person for Cena beating Styles for the title at Royal Rumble 2017.
I guess we were, weren't we?
We were in the last row. Twice? We were at the last. No. The one that we went to that you just said was lame. We weren't there. It was this one.
Right. That's right. But it was also 2017 was a lame one too. Yeah,
super lame. The only thing that was good was this match. Although Kevin Owens fought Roman Reigns and that was okay. But it was still weird. But that's that.
Okay, very
Let's
good.
Go to number 6 there,
now we're
Tam.
getting the hot ones here. The
next
spicy
slide.
ones.
Next slide. So this next one is, to me, kind of a special one. This is the oldest one on the list. And see, I just fucked up. It's fine. I was trying to get back to where I was. Anyway. Best Cena is him versus RVD at One Night Stand. Also a good one there, Woodsy. Woodsy just said that. Good one. Sorry, you read the chat. I don't read the chat. Sorry. So number 6 is an interesting one because I don't know what the plan originally was, but they had to get the title off of the Ultimate Warrior in 1991 before WrestleMania 7, because they didn't want to do a babyface versus babyface match again at WrestleMania 7 in a rematch. So they had to get the title off of him somehow. So Sergeant Slaughter, Old Faithful Sergeant Slaughter, stepped in, turned his back on America right at the height of the Sudan War. Is that right? Sudan War?
Reigning conflict.
Sure.
Iraqi conflict. Iraqi conflict is Saddam Hussein.
Saddam Hussein, right. Turns his back on America, gets death threats, so the All-American, the man's man, Hulk Hogan can step in and defend America one more time. So here comes Sergeant Slaughter, wins the title at the Royal Rumble, builds up all of this insane heat, completely insensitive, unbelievably controversial, very stupid storyline.
I love Sarge. I love Sarge working.
Sarge is great. Builds all of this up to build up the heat for WrestleMania 7, so Sergeant Slaughter and Hulk Hogan, so Hulk Hogan can yet again have an enemy to defeat in the main event of WrestleMania 7. So this is kind of a Gulf War. Thank you, Woodsy. Thank you.
You know who? Oh, thank you so much, Woodsy. You know who was originally going to be in this role instead of Sarge?
Who?
Tugboat.
Really?
Tugboat was going to turn his back on the country. Tugboat and what's his face? Hogan were partners. They were buddies the year before, and they were building up to have him become an Iraqi sympathizer.
Wow!
And then they found, I forget the reason why they went away with it. But Tugboat, which is Fred Ottoman, the Shocker,
the
Shockmaster, and also Dusty Rhodes' cousin, Uncle Fred.
Oh really?
Yes. Because after he fell, he's just like, "Oh, Uncle Fred." But yeah, that was going to be Sheik Tugboat.
Wow, that's pretty. I mean, I think Sergeant Slaughter did a great job in this role. I like this picture specifically because the belt's like this, pink lavender color.
Yeah, and honestly, I always thought that that version of Sarge, a fucking badass. I just love the camo underneath the tights, and I loved it. I always loved the red arm, the elbow pads. I love this entire look.
There is also something to say. Everyone talks about. I mean, by everyone, I mean me. I talk about how Chris Jericho has continued to wrestle and be interesting and whatever. This is Sarge's third or fourth decade in wrestling at this point. This is 91. He fought Pat Patterson in that New York street fight that they had in Madison Square Garden in this the 70s.
Late 70s, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, he's doing his thing. Him and Stan Hansen had unbelievably long runs.
Yeah. And also he even had some goes in the 90s. Which were pretty good. Yeah, he had
a boot camp match against Triple H in '97.
He had a fucking match against Kurt Angle in 2000.
Did he really? Oh, that's right, he did.
Yeah, he brought it out of a slaughter gear. He came out. He had a vicious. I just rewatched that maybe a couple of years ago, and dude could go.
I bet he was in that gimmick battle royal at WrestleMania 17.
That Iron Sheik had to win because they didn't trust him falling out of the ring. Hassan says, "I miss RVD. He's cool." Damn right. We all miss RVD.
Hell yeah.
Great job, Roy.
Great job. All right, let's go to number 5. Now, number 5 is another 2002. Now,
I think I know who you're going.
In order to make a great heel, you need to have a great babyface. And there is no greater babyface at this period of time than the triumphantly returning movie star in the making, The Rock. So The Rock returns to the WWE in late June of 2002, taking some time away to film The Scorpion King.
Oh.
He comes back, goes to SmackDown, immediately gets in the title picture, gets in Kurt Angle's way, because it's his destiny to win the WWE title. Undertaker's the champion. And Vince McMahon, being the shrewd, smart businessman he is, says, Rock is not long for this world. So I need to get him in front of Brock Lesnar, and I need to make my future star right now. Yeah. Because guys like The Undertaker and Kurt Angle are going to be around, and those are good eventual feuds for him. But the best way to get my new guy over is to beat The Rock at SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. So The Rock wins we did a top 10 triple threat matches a month ago, and The Rock wins the title in a top 3 or 4 triple threat match ever of all time. Vengeance 2002, The Rock versus Kurt Angle versus The Undertaker. There is a difference in the world of professional wrestling. There are good wrestlers, and then there are fucking good wrestlers. And the difference between the two is timing. And these 3 guys in that match had perfect timing. It's an incredible match. And The Rock instantly becomes mega babyface, heavyweight champion, setting him to fight Brock. He's literally champion for a month and a half. But it's a very important, impactful month and a half, and then he eventually loses to Brock, solidifying Brock as the new top guy, top heel in the company. He's your heavyweight champion, made Brock completely.
Yeah.
So The Rock is number 5 here. Now this is the beginning.
Honestly, this is a hard. Some of these are going to get hard to top. I know a few of them, but
we're going to get to them. We're going to get to it.
Interesting. Good job. That's a good one. That's a really
good one. And this
is
what's really funny is that there's a 3-step story for Brock from SummerSlam 2002 through WrestleMania 2003, and all 3 of these guys are on this list.
One of the best booked early, Brock had great booking. Great booking. Hassan writes, "I like The Rock. He's awesome." Damn right.
He's an awesome wrestler.
Have you seen Black Adam yet?
I haven't seen it. Is it good?
No, I'm asking Hassan.
Yeah.
Geez, I was having a private conversation with
so
Hassan.
sorry. I'm so
sorry.
Can we go to number 4 there, Tam? Let's keep rolling. And here it is. Here is part 3 in the final part of hold on. Time out. Tam, you can still go to the next slide. Red, can you read Woodsy's comment?
Woodsy says, was this the Rock title run where he and Eddie put on a banger on Raw? Yes.
Yes. Incredible match. Eddie calls Rock a gavacho, which is like Spanish for like stupid white man, essentially. And it's really funny, and I love that word, gavacho. It sounds great. Great
it sounds
promo.
like a delicious dish.
Yeah, it does. Gazpacho. It's a great promo to set it all up, and it's an excellent match on Raw. Excellent. Great call, Woodsy. Mm-hmm. Number 4, the coronation is complete when Kurt Angle beats the Big Show for the title the month after Survivor Series at Armageddon in a good match. Kurt Angle does a top rope dropkick in that match, and it rules. It's great. Kurt Angle becomes champion, and this is the perfect example of booking, looking at the title picture and saying, what's a better main event for WrestleMania? Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar or Big Show versus Brock Lesnar? It's Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar. So Kurt gets the title, and this almost was number 1. If I'm being honest with you, this was almost number 1. And the reason for that is because of all of the runs that these transitional champions had, this was the best run. He had that 5-star banger of a match against Chris Benoit at Royal Rumble 2003. And he's got a broken neck, he's got a blown out knee, and he's locked in. As soon as he wins that title, he's completely locked in. He's got the broken neck, and he still wrestles at No Way Out, 2003. And that
main event, like the entire, remember the tension during that match of just like, is Kurt gonna die?
Yeah, yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And that's a good point. Good point. Excellent choices. We got Bell writing, please God, let Sami Zayn and The Rock be in the same segment if he comes back from Mania.
Slam dunk.
Oh my God. Slam dunk all day. That's really good. Yes. Great call. Great call,
booking.
Bell.
Great booking.
Great booking, Bell. Bell the Booker.
Bell the Booker. There it is. So Kurt is a clear choice for a top 5 for me. No doubt about it.
Now you're in the top 3.
Now let's go to the top 3. Let's go to number 3. So this one is important to me because in the 90s, the most consistent heavyweight champion, the one you could rely on the most from the beginning of the decade to the end of the decade, give or take a few years in the front and the back, was Bret Hart. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to want to make a new star, if you're going to do a coronation of the new face of your company, the person who has to put the guy over is Bret Hart. Mm-hmm. So all throughout 1995, Diesel, Kevin Nash, is heavyweight champion. Meanwhile, slowly being built up as a big baby face is Shawn Michaels. And everyone knows that it's going to be Shawn Michaels next year at WrestleMania 12. But they did Diesel versus Shawn Michaels already at the previous year's WrestleMania. And to be honest, the money drawn throughout Diesel's title reign wasn't good. He wasn't a drawing champion. So you had to take the title off of him and put it back on.
Who you ask.
Yeah, it depends on who you ask. That's very fair. You have to put the title on someone who's Old Faithful. The guy that you can always count on to have great matches, be a professional, draw money, kids like him, and that's Bret Hart. So they put the title on Bret at Survivor Series 95. He goes on to have a match, an underrated match with the British Bulldog at the December In Your House. And then he fights The Undertaker at Royal Rumble 96. And then he fights The Undertaker. He fights Diesel again in a rematch, in a cage match in February. And then finally has an Iron Man match with Shawn Michaels and officially coronates Shawn Michaels as the new face of the WWF. Now, why isn't this higher on the list? Business wasn't good when Shawn was champion. I think Shawn had a good title run in 96. He had some great matches. He had one great match and he had 2 great matches and then some other decent stuff along the way.
He's always had good matches.
Him versus Diesel, good friends, better enemies, incredible. Great. And obviously him versus Foley.
My case, yeah.
Incredible. But Bret did his job here, even though he didn't want to. Bret is the consummate professional, got it done. Perfect example of a transitional champion.
Honestly, super surprised this is a number 1.
Because the boyhood dream about my number 1.
The boyhood dream.
Yeah, I feel conflicted about my number 1, but I'll tell you why I get there. Why it is what it is.
But good job. Like, this is amping up. I don't know. I'm thinking of people. I have people in my head.
You know who number 1 or you know who number 2 is going to be. Well, so let's go to number 2.
Let's go to number 2.
Number 2, we've talked about this a bit on Wednesday. Sometimes when you have a transitional champion, You need to have a transitional champion who's building up another transitional champion. And sometimes the transitional champ who's building the eventual transitional champ is even more important. And the number one most important transitional pre-transitional transitional champion is Mick Foley. Yeah. Mankind.
You're damn right.
Foley spends all of 98 becoming a mega babyface. He's the sweetest guy in the world at a time when no one is sweet in professional wrestling. He's violent and he's scary, but he's got a heart of gold and people really love him. He's got such a heart of gold that when he wins the title, he says, hey, what did he say? Hey, kids, Big Daddy-O did it.
Hey, yo, he said, just tell my kids, Big Daddy-O did it. Then he said, yo, Adrian, I did it at one time too.
So sweet. Yeah. So good. So my number 2 all-time transitional champion is Mick Foley.
That's amazing. Can I just quickly read
please.
DR just said, perfect Saturday. A beer in the garage and loser leaves wrestling. You son of a gun.
You son of a gun, DR.
Doctor. Cheers. The doctor's in.
Doctor's here.
Dark River. There was a kid I used to know that his rap name was Dark River, and I thought it was
that's really funny.
But
Tam,
hey, thanks, Doc.
Can you move to slide number 2, please? I don't know if I already told you to do that. Is it there?
Oh yeah, slide number 2 is Mick Foley. No, it's not. But loser. Thank you so much, Doc.
So not only did Foley win the title, Foley won the title, lost the title, won the title, etc. But the December through February feud of Foley and The Rock really solidified The Rock as a great heel.
Yeah.
Therefore, getting him ready to fight the number 1 babyface in the history of professional wrestling.
Well, he was already a great heel. It made him a serious contender. Because before that, he's just like, he's all talk, all flash. He had he's just been the leader of a group. We haven't seen him have like a really great match yet.
Yeah.
He hasn't had any great matches up until Foley. Okay, is that fair to say?
100%. I agree.
Can we think of any matches
he had
beforehand?
one really great match, Triple H ladder match, SummerSlam 98.
That was 98. Sure. Okay, so it's the start of it, but
but he's also like kind of a heel. It's still a mid-card match. Sure. He hadn't become cemented as a main event player until his feud with Foley, and that's what Foley did throughout his career. He made main eventers.
And I will say this real quick about The Rock in a ladder match: no one climbs a ladder better than The Rock. Well, the Rock struggling to climb a ladder. Flair. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
It's incredible. Yeah, the way he moves his body.
I could just watch him climb a ladder all goddamn day. Yeah. Why don't we should make that like a GIF or like have that just be the loser leaves wrestling screensaver? Is The Rock climbing up and down ladders? It'd be pretty funny.
Fantastic. Really.
All right.
So number 1,
and also
controversial
Doctor says cheers. Cheers, Doc.
Cheers, Doc.
Cheers, Doc.
Number 1's a little controversial, but ultimately, it's what was best for business. And it changed the business forever, officially.
Uh-oh. Okay.
So, Tam, let's go to that number 1 slide. And now, he's had at least 2 transitional champion runs in his career. A lot of these guys have had multiple transitional championship runs in his career. But the number 1 all-time transitional champion is post-Screwjob Shawn Michaels, Survivor Series 1997. And we all know that Stone Cold Steve Austin is the future of the company, the future of professional wrestling, and the reason why the WWF is still in business to this day. And somebody's got to get him over officially at the main event of WrestleMania. That is the classic coronation of your future star. You are not the official future of the company, at least back then, no longer the case. You are not the official future of the company until you win the main event of WrestleMania. And the most important spot in the company, besides that spot, is the person who loses.
Yeah.
And it's Shawn Michaels. And there's nobody else in the company who could do this. Shawn had a broken back. Shawn was addicted to pills. Shawn was impossible to work with. But he knew what he had to do, and he got it done.
And he needed to be the one to do it.
He needed to be the one to do it.
There's no one else on the roster because you needed to pass the torch.
Couldn't be taken.
It literally, Brett did it for him just a couple years back.
Yeah.
A year back.
2 years.
2 years back. 2 years back.
Yeah.
And so that's a really great point. And
this is also, by the way, this was the first pinfall, the first time Shawn's shoulders got pinned to the mat since Survivor Series 1996. He hadn't lost a match between Survivor Series 1996 and WrestleMania 14.
By pinfall, or hasn't lost a match at all.
he might have not even lost a match at all, but guaranteed by pinfall.
And honestly, he was in such pain and he needed to do it. Honestly, you look at this picture you posted, he's aged so much since 2 years prior. Like he was under a lot of mental strain. And that's honestly the best. That is the best. And
it set up the first or second greatest run in the history of wrestling. Hogan and Austin are neck and neck for the greatest runs in the history of wrestling. And I can't put Iron Sheik in there as the transitional champion to Hogan. I can't do it. Although he might have been a transitional champion to Hogan.
No, we cannot count Iron Sheik. Well, Iron Sheik did beat Bob Backlund. Honestly, Iron Sheik should definitely replace Sid Vicious.
He's the new number 10.
How the hell Psycho Sid did anything to get on here? Like, honestly, he gave Undertaker a win, but it was a sucky Mania event.
Yeah, it was really bad.
It was one of the worst Manias. Is it the worst Mania?
How is Iron Sheik not on this list? Woodsy the Beast said that. No, WrestleMania 11 is way worse. WrestleMania 11 is really. WrestleMania 13 has maybe the greatest match in the history of WrestleMania.
The only match on the card that was good.
Austin. Yeah, probably. Yeah, and I mean WrestleMania 11, the only match that was good was Shawn versus Diesel, and that was like okay, that wasn't amazing. I guess they had a better match.
Oh no, they also had Bam Bam versus
LT versus Bam. Yeah, but that's an attraction match.
It was a cool match.
I also think there's some later WrestleManias that are probably worse than all of these. The one where The Miz and John Cena main event, all just terrible across the board. That's when Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler have like a 30-minute match.
Why don't we do next?
What? Worst WrestleManias?
10 worst WrestleManias.
That's a good idea.
That's fun.
We'll do that next.
Yeah. Woodsy the Beast says, how is Iron Sheik on the list?
You're right, Woodsy.
Woodsy,
I dropped
honestly,
the ball on that. It wasn't in my brain. It wasn't in my brain.
Squeezed his way in here. He's like, no one ever booked me well. That's what he says.
Sheik is really like number 2 on this list, really, if you think about it.
No, I think
it set up Hogan.
I think HBK is a good a choice for number 1. Number 2, I would put Brett. Number 3, I'd put Angle. Number 4, I'd put Foley. I love Foley,
probably.
but
I got carried away with Foley.
No, then 5 Rock. That's good. And I like the list. I think the one that really is glaring, Big Show should be higher than AJ Styles, and Psycho Sid should be nowhere near anyone's top.
Sid and Styles were questionable choices.
Except for cool music.
Who has cool music? Sid?
Psycho Sid.
Yeah. Wah, 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 wah.
Loved it.
Right? Yeah, it was good.
That's the end of the show, everyone.
That's it. Well, we got to do the Hall of Fame real quick.
Oh, yeah, the Hall of Fame.
Who are you inducting into the Hall of Fame?
Who am I inducting into the Hall of Fame?
I got somebody. You want me to go first?
Yes, please.
You know what? I'm going to induct this guy because he's a great wrestler. He's got excellent timing. I'm all about timing these days.
You love timing.
He's got great timing. He works with what it's given to him, and he's the future biggest heel in AEW. It's Swerve. I'm inducting Swerve into the LLW Weekly Hall of Fame.
Fuck. You fuck. Okay, that's a good one. That's a great one. Honestly, no one deserves it.
Okay, well then just Swerve then, baby.
No, we can't.
You don't want to put it in Billy Gunn for his great acting? All right, I've had enough of this.
Hey, what? You better not. You better not. I'm gonna put. Oh, this is a bad week, huh?
Yeah,
that's a real bad week.
It's an interesting one. Jericho for being a stand-up guy.
For one line that was given, even though this person deserves it for a lot of things. He really called attention to the fact that some people in his family aren't being very oozy. And so I'm putting Sami Zayn and that line into the Loser Leaves Wrestling October 29th LLW Hall of Fame.
Sami Zayn should have a wing named after him in the LLW Hall of Fame.
Hey, maybe one day. He has to.
Yeah.
This is
MJF too. There's going to be an MJF wing and a Sami Zayn wing.
But this is Sami Zayn's first time.
Which is a mistake because we don't induct WWE guys very often. But now that we're going to start reviewing SmackDown.
Yeah.
We're going to be okay.
And honestly, we also don't keep a list of who's in the Hall of Fame. Right, so we may have inducted.
Totally possible.
Sami Zayn and Swerve! Yay! Bell writes, at the Mania after Triple H vs. Undertaker no holds barred match, everything else went downhill, which was a trend for about 4 Manias in a row that point.
Yeah, good point. There was a long stretch there in like the mid 2010s where everything was bad. But we're going to check it out. We're going to look at these cards. We're going to dissect WrestleMania
them.
30, excellent. Great rebound. WrestleMania 30, excellent.
The doctor says, happy Halloween. Which wrestler would you go as? I went as Composite Road Warrior Hawk.
Yeah, I'm going to go as Paul Ellering. in response.
Oh, dog, let's go. We have to get out of here. Tam needs some sleep.
Yeah, Tam needs to go to sleep.
Oh my God,
Thanks,
Tam's
y'all.
going to sleep for 3 weeks.
Hey, Wednesday after Dynamite, we'll be back. We'll be back on Wednesday after Dynamite.
We'll be back. Reach out to us at loserleavespod@gmail.com to join the Discord. I'm talking to you, Doc. I'm talking to you, Bell. Hassan, get in there. I don't even know if you're in there yet, but you better.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you all soon. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Say bye, Roy.
Bye. Happy Halloween.
4, 3.
Why are you yelling at me?
Why are you yelling at me? Ken fell asleep.